Hey everyone, welcome back to It's Kelsey, where we talk about finding your inner roar, finding your inner you that has been hiding, and getting back to using your voice, because that's important. So in today's talk, I wanted to talk about what is self-love really, because there's always so much talk about what self-love is, but sometimes it's not broken down into what we can actually do for ourselves. So I just wanted to break that down into 3 ways that you can show yourself love. Before we get into it, I would love to invite you to like this video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future updates. I post every week, and it's always about topics of finding your inner self, things on spirituality, and personal development. So let's get into it. The first way to show myself love is by owning who I am. Now that sounds kind of weird because everyone's like, yeah, you own who you are, right? This is a normal thing, but I feel like we aren't always given the tools to know how to do that, especially in school. So things like just owning how your appearance is, truly just liking how you look. You don't have to follow trends. You don't have to follow anything. You can just be who you are. And that's the best way, just to say, hey, this is me. Hey, I'm Kelsey, and this is how I am. This is how I'm showing up. So that would be one thing. Another thing can be your skills. So owning the things you're good at. So especially growing up, I was really good at music, good at art, good at math. I owned that. I was like, yeah, I'm good at these things. And I wasn't really great at writing. And so I didn't really write as often. I'm getting a little bit better on that because I can see the importance to it. But back then I was like, I'm not a big writer. I like music. I like singing. I like being, I like talking, And that's okay. You don't have to be good at everything. Other thing is setting boundaries around these things. So setting a boundary doesn't have to be harsh, but it can be an internal thing for yourself. So setting that boundary of I'm gonna wake up every morning and I'm gonna look in the mirror and I'm gonna love one thing about my appearance that day. Or a boundary could be even just how someone talks to you. If someone starts saying something rude about your appearance, or just in general says something rude to you, maybe you take note of that and you either decide to spend less time with them, or you decide to not really be friends with them anymore. There's many different ways you can go about it, but it doesn't mean that you have to cut them out completely. It's just could be a boundary that you set. So you could be you know what, I don't really like how they talk to me, so I'm going to make note of that. And if they keep doing that, then I'm going to know that that's true and that's how they feel about me. And I'm going to evaluate from there what I choose to do. I don't know what is going on outside. But I guess one of the examples of owning who you are for me was a story about when I was quite young, actually. I loved my headband. I loved it. I would not go anywhere without wearing this headband. It was rainbow colored, and it had little hearts that were all connected. It was just a cheap plastic headband, but I loved that headband so much. I couldn't do anything without it. I literally was I have to wear my headband, even if I had my hair up, if I had my hair down. It was I was always wearing my headband, and I just knew that was how I like to present myself. I liked my headband, and I also really liked the plastic chokers. I liked the rainbow one. I always liked being colorful. As you probably already have noticed if you've seen many of my videos, I like to be colorful. I like to have fun. And I think that was the one biggest thing is I always owned that part of me, even as a kid. I was like, yeah, I love to stand out. I love to be who I am. I'm not afraid to show that. I know growing through things and going through traumas as I got older, I would suppress that a lot more, but now I've dove into that and I've been doing more of the work and realizing that that was my truest expression of myself and that I want to continue being that way. Thus, we're in bright colors today. The second thing we're going to lead into would be self-care, and that can be around like hobbies and interests. So for me, I really loved music. I loved it so much. I still do. I love music. Like, I love the lyrics. I love the melodies. I just love everything there is to do with music. I find it like the most therapeutic thing ever. I also really love art. Like, I love painting. I love like that kind of thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like I've also really gotten into cycling lately. So I love to cycle like every day. But it's embracing these things that you love, these hobbies and these interests. So if, say, you're like a person that really loves writing, you love writing, like, write in a journal every day, start writing a book, embrace the things that make you feel joy, because those things are going to just add that childlike part of you into your life, which is going to make it easier for you to feel that self-love. An example of this is I actually discovered something that I didn't really know that I loved. I grew up being outside all the time. Like, that was a 90s kid thing. Like, you would be outside with your friends, you'd be digging through dirt, you'd be biking. I loved all of that. But as I got older, I didn't really realize that I loved nature as much as I did, because I was inside doing school and I was like doing all these things that were not really involved with nature. So I had moved to Kelowna for a while, which I don't know if you're familiar. It's in Canada. It's just kind of outside the mountains. It's more of like an arid desert, but it also is a mountainous area. Like, so you're in a valley and there's lots of hiking around. Like, lots. And so I started really getting into hiking with all of my friends, and I realized that I love nature. I love hiking. It just makes me so happy to be out in nature and to see flowers and see the trees and smell the air and see the water. So find that thing that makes you feel joyful, because that's going to help in your self-love so much. So much. So I think that kind of finishes up the second one. And for the third, I would say it's like a self-compassion thing. And one of the things for me that was really helpful is mindfulness. And that can be really anything. Mindfulness could be you literally sitting on the side of a mountain, and that's mindfulness, because you're just taking it all in. But there are kind of like some more structured things. So one of the things was meditation. Meditation is so good for you. It's so good for your mind. It's so good to just disconnect for those moments. And deep breathing. Now, I don't know if you've heard a lot about breath work, but breath work is becoming a big thing, and rightfully so. It makes you connect with your body to your mind, draws that connection all together. You know how to breathe, but deep breathing, it really draws out those things that you're holding in your body. I found it very transformative in the couple times I've done it. And then another thing is journaling. Now, I'm not a big writer, as I told you earlier, but I do find that journaling helps you process your thoughts. So if you're just having a time where you feel like you're very overthinking, very in your head, journaling sometimes can help that. That being said, an example for me of like one of these things that I discovered, I started doing meditation on an app called Insight Timer, and I started loving it so much that I think it was like over 100 days straight of meditation every day. And I love meditation. Like, a meditation is so good for my soul. I literally started realizing that if I would miss a day, that I was not the same kind of person, that like I didn't show up in the same type of person. And so that shows me that's a very like good self-compassion, self-care, self-love thing. I think the biggest takeaway from all of these things is to be you. Let your light shine and never let someone dim that light, because you are given that light to share and to show the world and to guide them in any way that you feel called to. So, I hope that you follow along, subscribe to my channel. There are worksheets that I provide linked below, so check those out if you're interested. And I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and if no one told you, I love you. And we'll talk to you next week. Have a great week. See ya.